Hi everyone, this is Cody, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to change the rear axle, wheel bearings and seals on a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this will apply to Jeep Grand Cherokees from 2000 to 2004. So mainly this process we're going to be taking off the wheel, the brake drum and disc, and then pulling out the axle. And then I've got seals and bearings, and then I'm going to take it to a shop that can have them take the old ones off and press the new ones on. And then you just put everything back together. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step is going to be taking off the wheel. Now I'm going to use an impact driver. If you don't have one of these, or if this isn't powerful enough, you can just use the wrench that comes with your car. So just remove the lug nuts. And once you do this, well, assuming you have your car already jacked up, which I've already done, you should be able to remove the wheel. I didn't jack my car up quite enough, but that worked just fine. And now don't lose these lug nuts because we're actually going to need them later. Okay, so next we're going to remove the brake caliper. So on the back, you'll see there's two 18mm bolts. I'm not really sure why they're 18mm. This is an American car, but that's what it appears to be, unless there's a size I don't have, but that's what fits. So depending on how tight these are, you may need a breaker bar. So I'm going to grab that. Okay, so I've got two options here. I've got this long breaker bar, and then I also have this, just a pipe. So I can put the pipe over this, since this breaker bar won't actually fit in there, and then I should be able to take this off. And it's as easy as that. And then there's also one more of these on the bottom, so we also need to remove that. Okay, so now I've removed the brake caliper, so I'm just going to take it off and set it over here. Now be careful not to bend the tube too much that has the fluid in it. So there, I'm just going to set it there. Now we don't really want that to fall off, because it could break this tube. So now it's time to remove the brake rotor, or the drum, as it is here. So this is now, since I've already removed the other side, this is free spinning, but it wouldn't have been before because we had this thing in park. So basically now, take your hammer. Well, first see if it'll pull off. Obviously this one is not going to pull off that easily. It's just kind of rusted on. So you can give it a few whacks. Now you don't want to actually hit the disc, and you don't want to damage these studs in any way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm using this leather mallet. You could also use a rubber mallet and tap from the back, and then also on the front here. And we're going to try and take it off that way. If this doesn't work, then I'll go to my second option, which is putting WD-40 in here, letting it sit. Now this could take a while, so we're just going to give it a try. I'm probably going to have to hammer on it for like an hour. Okay, so this is already starting to come loose. This one isn't rusted nearly as bad as the other side was, so I'm just gonna keep doing this. So as you can see, this just pulls off. So this is your rotor with your drum. So I'll set that to the side, and then as you can see here, it's the parking brake shoes. They're still there, but they don't look very good. I might have to replace them. So now we're to this. So now we need to go around the back and take off some bolts there. Okay, so this is back behind where the rotor was. So as you can see, there's these bolts here. Now we need to take these off, and these are caked in dirt. So what I'm going to do is use a screwdriver and scrape off as much dirt as I can, so we have less chance of stripping them, and we can get the right size socket on them. Okay, so after you think you've got off enough dirt, what I'm going to do is spray them with WD-40 and let that soak in. Now this will make it easier to get off because they're very rusted, and I'm just going to do that with all four that are around there. Okay, so now that I put WD-40 on this and let it sit for a while, I'm going to take them off now. So this is a 9/16 socket. So I'm just going to make sure it's fitted on there good, because you really don't want to strip these. Really anything on here you don't want to strip. So it's on all the way. And just for ease, I'm going to use the pipe on top of the wrench and then simply loosen it off. So now I'm just going to do that with all four. Okay, so once you've got all those four bolts off, the next thing you need to remove is this speedometer sensor. So there's just a little bolt here. So I'm going to try and clean it off a bit. This one is a 5/16. I'm just going to try and get all the mud off the bolt before I try to undo it, so less chance of stripping it. So then you just simply take it out. There it is. And now you should be able to remove your speedometer sensor, your speed sensor, and you can see it on the other side. You can help push it out a little bit. I don't think you want to damage it. Well, I guess that's up to you, but I'm not sure how difficult it is to damage it, but it doesn't seem too bad. There we go, and try not to punch that bolt. That's what I did on the other side. That's what I just did again. So there it is, that's out. So now it's on to the final step of removing it. Okay, so for this, to remove the axle, you're going to need a slide hammer. So that's basically something that looks a bit like this. You've got a big heavy weight on it. You can slide back and you can take stuff off. So here I've got the end of it, so this is going to fit on like that. And then you're going to use your lug nuts to attach it. Now those just have to be hand tight, and you kind of want this thing to be all straight. And then you need to screw the rest of the slide hammer into it. once you get close to this black bit here, you can just lock it in. Turn that to lock it down. And then it's basically just a matter of taking it out. So you just give it a few whacks and it should come right out. Just like that. So now you just remove this. You take these axles to a shop, or unless you have the tools to do it yourself, and have the seals and bearings and the retaining ring switched, and then come back and do all these steps in reverse, and you should be good to go. Now there is one more thing I forgot to mention that's kind of important. If you notice the bearing, you can see all the little bearing wheels in it. Now there is the outer part of the bearing is still left in here, so you just need to pull that out. If you have some trouble, you can use, like my slide hammer came with this kind of bearing puller. Now I didn't actually need to use the slide hammer, but it was kind of helpful for getting it out. So just something to be aware of. You need to remember to get this ring off, otherwise you're going to want to slide it properly. So that's it for now. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next video.